Welcome to the Reliables, a live stream series here on the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment channel on Twitch, brought to you in partnership with Pinnacle Entertainment Group, the makers of the Savage Worlds game system. I'm your host and GM, James Durham. The Reliables is an interactive Savage Worlds tabletop RPG show where you, our audience, have a direct impact on the story and events on the show. Let's take a look at the items that we have available for you to use in our store. We're going to actually skip through that part because we have lost a lot of time. But if somebody wants to pump up the store link, then those are all the ways that you can support and affect this show. All of those contributions go towards keeping us on the air, keeping the lights on in the studio, and you get to do really fun stuff to the show with them. But hey, let's go ahead and talk about our cast, shall we? Bryce Bebop is Vector Rains, space hero, war veteran, and hollow vid star. Vector brings a great deal of experience and confidence to the team, and he also firmly believes he should probably be leading said team. Christian Doyle is Jonamox, last survivor of a species of shape changers and an interdimensional criminal on parole to the team. Jonamox's vast experience as a dimension-hopping thief could be a great benefit to the team. Sean Franklin is John Stone, cyborg, badass, hero of many adventures across time and dimensions, and the team's leader. It's up to John to forge this group of misfits into a dedicated team of heroes. Xander Layden is Paul, an enormous rock-like creature and last survivor of their dimension. Paul is an expert in all things science, academic, medicine, and occult. Driven by insatiable curiosity, they greatly look forward to each new dimension and discovery on the team's travels. Together, they are the Reliables, traveling across time and dimensions to make the universe a better place, one mistake at a time. Before we get started, let's talk about the game system that we use on the show. Like many tabletop RPGs, Savage Worlds uses a dice system. The better a character or creature is at a skill or attribute, the higher the die used in conjunction with the attribute or skill. Success for many basic tasks require a roll of 4 or better, with those rolls that exceed the target number by 4 or more called raises. In addition, almost every die in Savage Worlds can ace. This is when the die roll is the highest possible number. When this occurs, you get to roll the die again and add it together, potentially triggering another ace. Initiative in Savage Worlds, or determining who goes within the turn, is determined by a deck of playing cards, with those drawing the highest cards acting first. In the case of a Joker, and not only did that character take their turn at any time, even interrupting an action in progress, but any skill or attribute rolls made by that character within their turn get a +2 bonus. Overall, Savage Worlds is fast, furious, and fun, just like the creators intended it for it to be. I hope you enjoy the show, and I hope you enjoy the game system. In our last episode, the Reliables were subdued and captured by the dangerous energy-based life forms they have been playing dimensional cat and mouse with. Only a very liquid Jonamox managed to escape their grasp. But even unconscious, the Reliables should never be counted out. In fact, John Stone, while in this forced sleep, is able to use his unique ability to send his mind outside of his body and across dimensions to make contact with the Council. Reporting in, Stone has been assured that efforts to assist the team are underway and given a new assignment. Gather as much information on the plans, motives, and nature of this new enemy, and do what is necessary to stop or slow them down. And so we find ourselves with a very liquid Jonamox, dripping, slithering, and oozing through the forgotten places aboard the Reliance. The ship itself held in the hangar of an immense vessel, and he is not alone. A small army of drones moves through the corridors and chambers of the Reliance, cataloging, quantifying, and recording everything on board. A second, smaller army of drones is going over the ship's exterior, some recording data and others beginning to repair the countless wounds along the ship's hull. In the hangar are dozens of smaller, sleeker craft hanging on racks, and another half-dozen ships of a similar size and scale to the Reliance.
Question.
Of course.
Do any of the craft have cockpits, or are they automatons like the humanoids we've faced recently?
They look to you like automatons, like the humanoids you face. So all those smaller craft don't have a single cockpit or passenger compartment or anything of that nature.
But similar technology to what the Reliance uses still?
Yeah, but a little newer and fancier looking than the Reliance. Definitely more
Absolutely, but
polished.
like same kind of weird alien metal, propulsion
Absolutely.
systems generally of the same design but more advanced, that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Neat. Okay, well, while I'm here,
While you're here.
I've got to rescue my friends, my crewmates and captors, if you will, and I fully intend to do that. Okay, but there are things that need to get picked up along the way.
Yes.
Picked up.
And if I have to make a couple trips back to the ship, because our ship is in need of repair, I assume. Yeah, repair.
It's not in the best of condition. A lot of work has been done over it in your past few journeys, especially using a lot of those spare parts from the crashed ship.
Right. So what I'm doing right now is helping.
I suppose you could take it that way.
Okay, so assuming that I don't get immediately like swamped with guards, I'd like to get a little something back to the ship.
Okay. What are you going for?
Obviously it'll be one of the smaller craft.
They aren't particularly large. In fact, you could probably fit a few of them in the cargo bay of the Reliance. And none of the drones seem to be paying you much attention. They're very focused on whatever job it is that they're supposed to be doing.
Right, but so I'll take one of the ones that isn't doing anything, and if it's on little hovers anyway, I might as well just kind of push it gently back towards the Reliance until it gets to the loading dock, and then up the ramp. And I don't know how it got there.
Fair enough.
It wants to be in its home.
You're able to load one and then even a second one after that first one. And it's along with the other things that have been accumulated in the cargo bay. And even in that cargo bay, there are some of those little drones that are going through and cataloging everything. You can only assume that they're eventually going to catalog these two ships that you have put on board. But
well, yeah, that's what they do. They catalog things. They don't have traditional transponders, so I can't rip those out or anything. They're just little drone ships.
Yeah, they're decent size. They're a little bigger than a person, but they're not particularly large.
Great, so I'll just lock them in the cargo hold, make sure the door is shut. They won't be able to open the door. They're not door opening robots. And then it's back to the vents.
All right, you slip in between cracks. There's not a tremendous amount of ventilation system on board this ship, as it doesn't seem to be designed for biological beings.
Right. So when you were talking about this earlier, they don't use wiring. Is that right?
There's actually a lot of cables and conduits, but
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be wired to anything, just through everything.
That makes sense, I guess. Is the wire made of anything valuable?
Bits of it could be to the right people in the right dimensions under the right demand, but in general, not particularly.
Right. Well, I'm going to worry about that after I save my crewmates. It's my job to save them since I'm the only one who escaped capture.
It seems to be that you are the only one that escaped capture.
All right, so I guess I look for prison quarters next.
You begin wandering through a maze of interconnecting corridors. You pass storage chambers loaded with all kinds of things from various different dimensions. They all seem to be neatly organized, boxed, and cataloged. Occasionally, you pass by storage chambers that have some of those like a robot-looking beings that you've encountered before, but they're not moving. They're just sitting and.
But let's go back to those boxes for just a second, because
sure.
What's in those? They're cataloged and marked.
They're cataloged and marked for various dimensions. They seem to be like clothing and personal effects and items, so that a person could fit in various different dimensions depending upon their technology level and what the people look like.
Oh, that's really handy.
It's costuming. Lots and lots of costuming.
So I want this room a whole bunch. I'm going to, as I'm mapping things on my cyber deck, make sure to mark this room.
It's a room full of costuming.
Yeah, because I mean, we're the Reliables. We could probably use that kind of stuff, and Vector likes new clothes.
Vector does love new clothes.
Vector's a clothes horse, a dandy, if you will.
But no other creatures are in the passages. Occasionally you see, more of those little drones, but they're polishing sections of floor or cleaning up some of the cabling. Everything is in perfect repair. It is a drastic departure from your time aboard the Reliance.
Okay. Excellent. So thinking back, the room with all the dolls that are just sitting around.
Yeah.
Is that like a makeshift barracks of some kind? Are they armed dolls? Do they?
There are weapons along the wall. Yeah, they seem to be physically attached to the wall.
Cool. So do I have time? Since there's nothing in these, they're just empty husks. To unscrew their feet, so when they eventually start chasing us, it'll be difficult.
You definitely could, sure. You're certain there's probably a hell of a lot more where these ones came from, but it would deal with some of them.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna unscrew some feet and have some arms on loose joints, so maybe they fall off when they're running. I don't want to. I know it's gonna eventually turn into a fight or a chase, and I just want to give us a leg up before shit goes down. It inevitably will, and I'm sure my shape changing will get me out of it. But just to be safe, I'm going to use some good old fashioned sabotage.
Fair enough. Do you happen to have the thievery skill?
I do. That's weird that you should ask that. It's my second highest skill.
All right. Well, what's the die roll on it? Because we're going to need you to make a thievery roll here.
Okay, so it's a D10, and if it's the thievery related stuff, I get the +2 on it. Because that's
right. So we're going to need that D10 at a +2, and we're going to get ourselves an 8 on that, which is not only a success but a success with a raise. So you're able to get some significant work done on feet, arms, hands, various parts of these different automatons.
And
heads,
technically,
shoulders, knees, toes.
Right. Technically, they're not going to need that stuff anymore, so I'm taking that also. just like an armful in a sack, just tie it up real quick. No big deal. Like a set of golf clubs worth. We're gonna
bag of spare parts.
Exactly.
I guess you could say you were technically armed at this point. There are other individuals' arms, but you were armed.
That's right.
He's an arms dealer.
And you continue to make your way through more of these corridors, passing more chambers containing even more of these automaton beings. Lots of them. You could probably spend weeks here trying to do that to all of them.
Well, that was a huge waste of time. Oh, well. Got these arms. Onward, I continue.
Yonamox is disarming and defeating the automatons. #hack attack.
All right. Thank you, Chad.
Thank you very much.
All right, you make your way through quite a few more of these passages and interconnecting corridors, having to double back a couple of times as you get to places where it just seems to end. And making your way around is kind of difficult. There doesn't seem to be a lot of rhyme or reason to the layout of this particular area of the ship you're in, until eventually you reach a set of very large, very sealed looking doors. They look like security type doors, the type of doors that you've gotten through on various different dimensions to get at things that are valuable on the other side of them.
Well, this is what I was looking for. I should have just come straight here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not knowing your way around the ship has definitely put an impediment in that.
Well, no, I didn't know my way around the ship.
But yeah, the very large, very secure-looking sealed doors.
All right. Crack the old knuckles. Maybe put an eyeball on the end of my finger and get a little snake under the door and see what we got.
How about you give me one of those shape-shifting rolls of yours?
Yeah, I think we all know that I'm going to pass it, so maybe I shouldn't even roll. I mean, yeah, it's a complicated maneuver, I agree, but I'm so good at this D8 roll that I'm clearly going to make it. See?
Looks like you did. We've got ourselves a 7, and that is
Oh my
a
God,
success.
the universe knows it's my birthday this week. Sweet. Okay.
It in fact is, and you get your finger with the eyeball underneath one of these really tiny cracks in this sealed door. And there's several interesting looking chambers beyond it. The one to your left, it doesn't take much to see through. It's a big energy field blocking access to the chamber. And inside of that chamber is, well, Paul.
Oh, they were afraid of how big he was. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it looks like a seriously secured energy field type prison that's holding Paul in place. To the right, across the way from Paul, it looks more like a medical suite or a hospital room. And a very unconscious Vector Rains is laying on a bed there with an IV drip hooked up to him.
Can I tell what kind of drugs he's on? Like, is it is it keeping him under, or is it there to heal him? Is it an IV drip with, saline or blood or something, or is it,
You think it's drugs.
It's drugs, okay.
Yep, you think he's being sedated because there's nothing really that would be holding him in place on that bed otherwise.
All right. Well then, I'm gonna just. Is there anybody else in here? I look around with my eyeball snake finger.
There's more doorways and passages, but that's what you can immediately see on the other side.
All right. No sign of Johnstone?
Not immediately, but like I said, there's other doorways and passages. These are just on the other side of the door to the left and right, and about as far as you can really get with your eyeball finger.
All right, I'm gonna eyeball snake finger my whole body.
Just following it through?
Yep, just going in, like pouring water down a string.
All right. And then at this point, Paul, you can see a forming Jonamox creeping up from the door, or oozing up from the door. I'm not really sure how to put it. Unfortunately, the bag of your arms and the like has to stay on the outside of the door, as it can't exactly slither through.
But we're going back through that door. I'm getting my arms. Them's mine.
Yeah, and Paul seems completely conscious and standing rather contemplative. You've only been here a few minutes that you can recall, Paul, but you've been seeing, vectors across the way from you, clearly being drugged. While your internal clock isn't perfect, it's enough to know that more than a few minutes has passed since you were last conscious.
Hey, bud.
Hello. When did you get here?
Oh, just now. I mean, I came here on the ship with you, but I waited until they weren't looking around anymore before I came looking for you.
That is very smart. Don't let them see you. Yeah.
That's that's how we do it.
Yeah. So I've just been in a cell for a little bit here, not sure for how long.
It's been a while, I think.
Oh, yeah. Not much going on. Vectors being drugged. They just kind of left me alone here.
So, question. Do you know what kind of field this is, energy-wise?
Yeah, it's an energy field. Yeah. Well, they're very difficult to deal with.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, that would have really helped if I would have known a bit more specifically.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try and shut it down. You're gonna probably want to keep your arms in the ride at all times, because
yeah, I might be able to give you some advice on shutting this down.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Doc. Dude, Geodude.
Yeah, we can go with that. Yeah.
All right,
so
Geodude.
the long and the short of it when dealing with energy fields is that you want to turn them from an on state
Okay, you're
to
killing me.
an off state.
Mhm. Yeah.
There should be a button somewhere.
As he's talking, I'm gonna slowly turn down the medicine on Vector's.
All right.
Let him come out of it, as opposed to waking him up and slapping him. That way, Paul can continue talking.
Fair enough.
So you're going to want to turn it from an on state onto an off state, and that should turn it off.
Okay, so
All things.
My issue is there's not really switches on this thing. They could. Oh God! You know what? I am so stupid. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try and get back into the vents above.
Okay.
And see which wires lead down in this direction.
They're fairly obvious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna cut those.
Can I get another one of those thievery rolls from you?
Yeah, and I want to cut the right one and not the wrong one. You know what I'm talking about here? Like,
That's why I'm needing one of those thievery rolls.
If it's a red wire, green wire, blue wire situation, I am red-green colorblind, so...
Well, if 'tis Christian's birthday this week, then I suppose we ought to do something really, really cool for it. Perhaps something like a hashtag cool rule? Also,
Ooh.
Helen definitely enjoyed John Amok's eyeball snake finger. You should totally do it when she's here.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, chat, very much.
Hashtag eyeball snake finger.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh.
Awesome.
Yeah. No one's going to forget that for a while.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it.
All right. So what is that thievery roll of yours?
It's a D10.
All right, a D10 and a D6 for John Amok. So let's see what happens.
I add 2. That's a 10.
Ooh.
Whoa!
That, in fact, is a 10, which is a success with a raise.
I forgot how good it felt to make rolls.
And you deftly cut the wires, and the energy field just simply winks out. Around this time, Vector, you're starting to wake up from a really great dream.
What's going on?
Well, oh, sorry. And I ooze back down to the floor again.
Okay. Not the strangest thing I've woken up to.
Hey, Paul,
Good for
can you check him out medically?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd like to monitor Vector's vitals.
All right. What's your healing skill?
My healing skill is not too bad, as I recall. Let's double check. It's a 10. Yeah, no.
All right. I'll take a D10 and a D6 from Paul for checking on the current condition. Oh, those aren't very good.
I'm gonna let it lie.
All right.
Yeah. He's alive.
He's alive, and he's been drugged. You're sure of those two things?
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely out of it.
That's your
Out of where?
medical opinion?
Well, I figure, you were able to glean my incredibly detailed instructions for turning off the energy field and turn it into something useful. So you're a clever guy. I think he's drugged and messed up should be enough to go on, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
100% yes.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Huh?
John Amok,
No.
you shouldn't be doing drugs.
Oh, I didn't give you the drugs. P.S. Stealing the drugs.
Adding the drugs to your collection of stolen goods.
Well, I'm going to add it specifically to the collection of stolen drugs, but yes.
Phew.
Hmm.
So,
So you got captured. They knocked everybody unconscious and brought you to this wing of this enormous and very confusing spaceship.
okay. All right. I think I'm up to speed.
More or less. So, John Stone is around here somewhere. I imagine Rhonda and the princess are also here. Yeah.
But where's my gear?
I don't know, but I did find a costume room.
I'm sold. We should get costumes.
This is what I'm saying, and it's cool shit. It looks like the backstage of the Met Opera. You know, like they have everything.
Okay, so the costumes are cool, but without my guns.
Useless. Yeah, that's why I'm here, bud. You want a knife? I got an extra knife.
I will take a knife.
I'm just kidding. Remember that pistol? You can have that instead. I'm not going to shoot at anybody.
Oh, okay. Well, I will take your pistol, good friend.
I only have the one.
It's a start.
What is it? It's a plasma pistol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as fancy as Vector's typical.
As Vector's particle accelerators? No. Not even.
There's no custom engraving, custom grips, and the like on them, but it will shoot.
And I will shoot it good.
I'm sure that we'll find at least one of them on the way. Don't worry, bud.
Yeah, there's more of these different kinds of chambers beyond these two now that you've made it through. This hallway goes a little bit of distance here. Just past Vector's medical holding cell, maybe you could call it. On the right, there's another one of these really ridiculously intensive sealed doors. And there's a strong hum of energy coming from the other side of it, like machinery running.
Anyway, we probably don't have a long time before the alarm will go off or something. I did cut a wire, and that's how they not only send signals, but get around physically in this place. So we should find the others.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's a good idea. I see you have a collection of arms and assorted parts on you.
Oh, they're technically on the other side of the door, but yeah, I did collect some things on the way. I can get that door open, no problem, I think.
Could be useful.
You want to give me a hacking roll then, John
Yeah.
Knox, if you want to try and get that door open?
Oh gosh, what is my hacking? Sorry, I ran into a different window.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I'm sorry. But I know
Christian
it's
gets
at
lost in
least
his own computer.
You silly duck.
All right, an 8 and a 6. We've got the 6 aces, so let's see what happens there. And we have a 9, which is a success with a raise. You are able to get that door open, and there is the golf bag-sized bundle of arms, screws, parts, and pieces.
There you go. We are technically armed.
Uh,
There you go, buddy.
Thank you. You shouldn't have. Either on the way or while, or if we've got just a quick second before we head off, I'd like to try to build a robot out of these parts.
I'll throw him a couple batteries too then.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can start slapping something together. I'm going to need a repair roll for that.
You're gonna need a power source, so here. They don't have crap for power sources on this thing. They're their own power sources, I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, it won't be as strong as them, but localized power source ought to do it for the time being. That's going to be a 10 plus 2 for repair.
All right, D10 plus 2 and a D6 for the repair rolls. And we're going to have a 10, which is a success with a raise. You are able to assemble it's about a 3 foot high.
It's so cute.
You wouldn't really call it a person robot. It's definitely not humanoid, but it is mobile and has 2 usable limbs.
What I'm thinking is like a hubcap with 2 legs.
Or is it more like Twiggy from Buck Rogers?
Those little batteries not included robots.
I love those batteries not included robots.
It's kind of like a hubcap with a couple of legs, but the legs can also double as arms. It's just whatever they're being used for, because one of them is in fact made from a hand.
Brilliant. I call him Jonamatron after his partial father. He will follow our
Mazel
commands to the
tov.
death.
I always wanted a robot child.
Well, since you made him Paul, wouldn't he be like John Paul?
That's pretty good.
So
but I
we're naming-
can't.
So
I
we're
can't
naming
hear
it
you
Ringo.
now.
Is that what I'm hearing? We're naming your little hubcap robot Ringo, and I'm the father and you're the mother. Is that correct, Paul?
I think Ringo works very well on several levels. Yes.
Oh, Ringo.
Plus, he also looks like a symbol. So,
But
Yeah, and there's a couple of doorways in here that you haven't really explored any further, and then of course there's back the way you came.
so yeah, I got that door open, and let's go with it. I'm just gonna work on the next one. Trying to.
All right, the next one back is where that loud hum is coming from. I'm going to need another hacking roll to get that thing open. It is. They've taken some serious security measures keeping this particular door shut.
Oh well, if it's a security measure thing, I'll still get a +2 to the roll. So.
Yep, that's right.
It's a D8.
All right, a D8 and a D6 with a +2 bonus. That's 6 aces.
Check you out, ace.
6 aces again. Wow, and with your +2 bonus, that's a 19. So that's almost 4 extra races.
So
there.
I start like hacking it, and then I just go, hey, and I go, boom.
Not only do you manage to open it, but you disable the currently sustained electromagnetic field that was running inside of it. And there's a very prone John Stone in the cell, and he's starting to move and come to now that electromagnetic field is down.
Ooh, that's not enough time to hack him. All right. Morning, John Stone.
John Amongst.
Yeah. It was rough, man. We all got captured, but then Vector Reigns came and rescued us. I don't know how he got away when the rest of us were knocked unconscious, but yeah, he escaped, and he just rescued me from a hospital bed and a force field. Now he's got you. He's an amazing leader.
It was a mystery to me too. An amazing mystery.
We should probably find the others. I mean, if Vector says it's okay. Beck?
I think we should do that as well as our gear. But John Stone, just come with us. We got this.
John Amongst, you're not a humanoid, so it's harder with you. But with Vector Reigns, I can analyze his vitals and realize that is not a true story.
Oh, yeah, that was just us winding you up, bud. I just wanted you to have some good news
whatever.
With your bad news, but I figured it was much better for us.
All right, cut the crap, Mux. We obviously have a situation here. Look, fortunately, there was something they didn't count on. They didn't count on the fact that one of the side effects of whatever they did to shut me off allowed my conscience to traverse, because of me and my brother's bond. I was able to make psychic contact with the council.
Oh.
We have orders.
Okay.
Cool.
Basically, at this point, it's a recon mission. We have to find out as much as we can about them before we get out of here.
Oh, I have been doing a bunch of recon already.
All right, what have you found?
That there's still 2 of us missing, and they're
Look at Ringo.
somewhere in this hallway.
He's
But
so cute.
They are
What is
not.
that?
They are definitely not opposed to playing dress up.
His name
What is
Ringo.
that?
Or, sorry, their name is Ringo.
That's Ringo. It's our son.
I'm the father.
I watched.
I'm a guardian.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We're very proud.
I should be more surprised.
Right?
Let's get out of here. Any data you found about who's been doing this to us and where we are exactly?
Just the data that I've gathered on the trip from the ship to here. This is their ship. Our ship is on their ship. But some of their ships are on our ship, which is on their ship. So it's gotten a little kinky.
So to capture our entire ship and put it in. So this is one giant ship holding our ship.
Yeah.
Is it a base or just a big ship?
But I put some of their smaller ships in our ship. We're like a Russian nesting doll of ships right
I
now.
love those things.
It's a little delightful.
So is this some kind of star base or? What is
No. It appears to just be a ship. But it looks like one that they can. I guess they don't have people per se, but they can deploy a lot of troops from here if necessary. They got rooms and rooms full of those robo dolls. They also have a giant room that is just full of costumes so they can dress up like other people when they go to their worlds.
But aren't they still robots?
I don't know, man. I don't. Wait, no. You couldn't. Those robots don't have any kind of projectors on them, so they couldn't possibly disguise themselves as anything humanoid.
So they're just robots in clothing.
No. No. They can't be just robots in clothing.
Oh.
Can they take
Well,
over more than just metal stuff?
I don't know.
Because the clothes that they had in there were for different species, different races, some of them multi-armed, so not just humans.
They did seem to take over dinosaurs on that one planet.
I did not see any of that. That is new information to me.
That is news.
Yes, they were controlling dinosaurs. Unless
Wait.
I've got...
So they're going to places and doing the metapilot thing to them. Is that it? No, they wouldn't need clothes for that.
What about Rhonda?
What about her?
Where is she?
she?
Yeah.
We still have...
There's still one more door you haven't opened.
Oh.
I mean...
Well, let's
could be this
go.
one.
All right. I'm going to need another one of those hacking rolls from you, Jonah Mox.
Oh, buddy. Okay, I feel like I'm pressing my luck with all this rolling today, James.
Do you want to
You
smoke
most
with
certainly
somebody?
are. So I need another D10 and D6 from Jonah Mox. Get that +2 bonus. Oh, man, that 10 aces. We're getting some serious acing going on. A total
18.
of 18. Wow. So those are some serious more raises. You, again, crack that door open. Very Fonzie style with just a quick bump. And beyond that, unfortunately, there is no Rhonda or Princess Hedgehog, but all of Vector Reigns' gear is piled up there, and
Thank
neatly
God.
arranged, as though someone had been inventorying it.
Oh, I missed you. Oh God.
John and Monks, you've gotten a lot more
Oh,
competent.
yeah.
I
Oh,
You
wouldn't
look
say
so
that.
much cooler.
I just haven't had to do a lot of shape changing today. That seems to be where I really choke. Or grenade throwing. Luckily, I don't have any more grenades because they all exploded when that one went off in my hand.
Vector, are you done grooming?
do you think this is just for grooming? It is, but also in the mustache wax, I definitely have like a little bit of caffeine, a little bit of a hangover, a little bit of a, you know how it is, right? Oh,
No, I
you
don't.
don't drink. I'm sorry. Well, don't worry about it. I'm good.
Let's find Rhonda and Hedgehog.
In the several minutes it takes Vector to get his gear back on and situated, you have been able to use your own internal sensory systems. And while you haven't been able to locate Rhonda or Princess Hedgehog, you have located a what you think is some kind of central communications hub or something similar. There's a lot of signals coming from that particular area. Also, in addition to Vector Reigns' equipment, Paul, some of your tools and your universal translator that you built that allowed you to listen into these creatures' conversations happen to be in there as well. And you're able to pick up signals from that again.
Nice.
And there has been a general alarm given. Apparently, there's been a break-in in the secure prison facilities, and a team is being sent to respond.
An alarm has been triggered.
Yeah, I cut a wire or two. We should get moving. I know the way back to the ship.
All right.
if that's what we're trying to do, but we can't leave without Hedgehog and Rhonda.
No, we can't leave
Yeah.
without them.
I'll see if I can pull up a schematic and find where the cell is.
You're not sure if there is a schematic available, but again, you're getting some strong readings that there might be like a central communications hub, and if anywhere has access to that, it could be that location.
Yeah, and I'll give you what I've mapped so far via message. But it's
Right.
essentially just rooms that are off the main shaft that I was oozing through.
All right, let's get to that communications hub.
All right, you get a move on, and thankfully you have Paul's translator device, which allows him to give you just enough information to avoid some of these search parties that have begun to go through the hallways, staying one step ahead of them for a brief period of time. And eventually you do reach this communications hub center. It isn't much of a communications hub. It's more of a place where all these dozens and dozens of bundles of wires all seem to go into a large terminal. And while it doesn't have an exterior point where someone could tap keys or the like into it, as John Stone, you don't exactly need a computer to access it. You can simply do it using your own onboard systems. So if you want to give me a electronics or hacking roll, I would appreciate that, John.
Very well, sir.
Your choice.
I'll go with a hacking.
All right.
Sounds fun. 12 plus 2.
All right. A D12 plus 2 for hacking and the D6 wild, which aces. We're getting a lot of acing dice today. That goes to a 9, which is a success with a raise. And you are able to download a tremendous amount of information. There's a lot of data on this hub, so much of it that you download the majority of it without actually scanning through it, just filing it away for a later date. But of immediate importance, you know the locations now of Rhonda and Princess Hedgehog. Both are scheduled to be dissected in a nearby medical lab.
Dissected?
Yes, procedures are to begin in minutes. You also have a name for your enemy now. They seem to refer to themselves as the Galvanic Collective. And some of the brief bits that you're able to get from the information, though, they travel across dimensions. They harvest various raw materials for their ships, experiments, and physical forms. It's unclear if the collective is a hive mind, a single entity, a group of entities. The information is somewhat contradictory. What is clear is that they have no regard for other life forms or those dimensions that they dwell in, and they actively engage in attempts to promote conflict and disorder to cover their operations and harvest materials from them. And currently, a major operation is underway in Dimension 01776, where they are working to extend a major conflict between nations while they prepare their fleet to invade and strip an entire planet of its resources, leaving it to collapse and condemning the people there to die. Such a catastrophic event could very well collapse that entire dimension.
All right. So since I don't have to physically touch anything to use this communications hub, I'd like to, while we head to the cells where they're holding our teammates, I'm going to simultaneously broadcast the data I just collected to the council.
Excellent. Fantastic and very smartly done. Forwarding intel ahead, you make your way to this medical wing. Unfortunately, by the time you get there, they have put guards in place. And it seems that you're going to have to either fight your way or find a way around them to get access to. And judging by the countdown you had, it's only going to be moments before the automated machines inside start cutting into poor Rhonda and Princess Hedgehog.
All right, team. We're going to hit them with everything. No time for finesse, nothing fancy. Just take them all out now.
I'll get the door, you get the guards.
On it.
That works.
All right, I'm going to deal out some cards here, and we're going to see what happens, folks.
So pull out my blasters. I just.
So anyway, I started blasting.
All right, so cards are dealt. Unfortunately for you folks, it looks like with the Ace of Diamonds, I get the chance to act first, and you are detected just before you can start your rush. And the guards at the door open fire at the group of you. We're going to be firing at John Stone and Paul because they seem to represent the largest and most dangerous immediate threats. So if I can get two 10-sided dice rolled for the shots on John Stone and Paul. For John Stone, we have an 8, which is a success with the raise. And for Paul, we have a 6, which is a success. So both of those initial shots are going to hit. So on John Stone, we're going to deal a 2d8 plus a d6 for damage from the plasma rifle discharging and hitting John. One of those aces, we might actually manage to hurt John Stone with this shot. For a total of 23 damage. And what kind of a toughness do you have over there, John Stone?
18.
18. So 22 would be just enough to wound you, unless you want to use a Benny to soak it. But of course, you could just take the wound. You are John Stone.
I'll just take it.
All right. John Stone is now wounded once.
Animal.
And for Paul, there's no raise damage, so it's only 2d8 that gets done to Paul.
Now, I have Nerves of Steel, which ignores one level of wound penalties. So
correct. So
wounded,
this isn't going to.
anything.
Yep, this isn't going to adversely affect you. 11. What is your toughness, Paul?
That's going to be a 13.
Oh, so an 11 is just going to chip some of the rocks on your incredibly stout frame and cause you no significant damage. And that is our two heavily armed guards going, and that goes to Vector Reigns with the Jack of Hearts next.
How many guards are there?
There's two of them standing outside that doorway.
Oh, there's just those two?
Yeah, they're a little bigger than the smaller ones you've encountered before and a little more heavily armored.
Okay.
Vector, two big guys. You got two guns. Hit them.
Done. 3 shots on each.
Oh, so going for the full -4 multi-action penalty. Wow. All right.
Johnson told me to
so
go.
what's your
go
shooting die?
Shooting die is a D10.
All right. And you have marksman over there, I believe, as well. So
Yes, so +1 on the first shooting roll.
but with that -4, that is not going to hit with a 1 and a 4 as the die rolls that come up, unfortunately. So that first shot will not hit.
I'll let the first one go.
All right. We still have 5 more to go, so let's see what the next ones go at. Next one at a D10 and a D6 with the -4 multi-action penalty. A 5 and a 1. The 5 will hit, so your second shot is a hit. Third one, another D10 and D6. Let's see what happens. Ooh, this one is going to miss by 1, unfortunately.
We'll let that one go too.
Letting that one go too.
Yep.
All right, going on to the fourth shot of 6.
That
one's also good. Oh, using it, Benny. Re-roll it. All right, the fourth shot of 6 for the second time.
All right.
That's also going to miss. Not going to work for you. The 5th shot. That's 6 aces, so we might have ourselves a win here.
I'm going to use
7. No, it's not enough with the -4 multi-action penalty.
I'm getting this Alexis Arquette fiction vibe right now.
Oh, and the last one is a 1 and a 2. Man, that will totally miss.
I will use a Benny on that.
All right, using a Betty on that 1 and 2.
All right.
Oh, the 6 aces and the 9 is already... The 9 at the -4 is still going to be a success. So you're still going to manage to eat each of them once. What kind of damage do you do over there? These are not raises, unfortunately.
It is 3d8.
All right, 3d8 damage for the first shot.
Nice. Come on now.
Oh, man, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is not going to beat the toughness on that guard, so it's going to endure that first shot. Let's see how the second shot does. Same 3d8 damage.
Oof.
Oof, even lower. 2 shots of the 6. You mostly hit wall and door, but 2 of them managed to hit your armored opponents and don't even seem to slow them down.
They're real tough, guys. Real tough. Real fast.
That's going to put us to Paul next.
Okay. Paul isn't interested in messing around at this point, nor do they feel particularly bad about damaging automatons. They're not even AIs, technically.
They're just future Ringos.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I love Ringo. Don't get me wrong. Ringo's a baby. I'll die for Ringo. But Paul is going to run at one of them and pick them
real
up.
hard.
Yeah, like pick them up over their head and slam them on the ground with a slam attack.
Oof. Going full brutality on there. All right, Paul. I'm going to let you choose whether you want to use fighting or athletics for that attack because you are grabbing hold of the opponent there.
I would like to use athletics.
All right. What is your athletic skill, Paul?
That is an 8.
All right, a D8 and a D6. Oof.
I would like to use a Benny on there.
All right, using a Benny. Let's roll that again and see what we get. The 6 aces, so we've got way better chances here. Oh, man, and aces again. For a total of 15. Wow.
Hey, okay.
You grab hold of this being and lift it straight into the air and bring it down with your slam attack. This is going to deal your strength die for damage plus a d6. So what is your strength die?
I've got a d12 plus d8 on my character sheet.
Oh, yes, you actually have the slam attack. I'm sorry, I don't want to steal that from you.
Yeah.
D12 and a d8 added together is going to be 7. That's not going to be enough to do any substantial harm, but you do pick them up and throw them bodily on the ground, so they are going to be prone for the rest of this turn as we go into things and start the next turn prone. I believe Jonah Mox is next with that 6.
Oh, then. Well, here I go. I said I was going to go for the door, but if I do that at this point, one of them will get to hit me. So the one that's not prone, I'm going to try and make more prone.
Can I get a little more detail than that, precisely?
I'm going to stab it in the neck. I thought that was generally understood that if I'm going to do anything to anybody that's not stealing from them, it's the old knife to the neck.
Okay, that's going to be a fighting attack. And what kind of a fighting die you have when you're using a knife, Jonah Mox?
I have D12 plus 1.
All right, a D12 plus 1 and a D6 wild die. Oh, we're going to get a 10, which beats their parry handily. Not enough for a raise, but still beats the parry. And what kind of damage do you do when you stab a being with that knife of yours?
I do strength 2, so I do D8 plus 2D6.
All right, D8 plus 2D6 for that nasty knife coming in. Oh, man, that is not a particularly high. You're looking at 10 points total.
That's not enough, Benny.
All right, let's go ahead and re-roll those with the Benny used there. Oh, man, we're going to do a little better. We've got an ace die. We get up to 21 with that one. And it's less of a stab in the neck and more of a disconnecting the head from the body with that shot.
Right.
Which staggers forward a couple of steps, raises up the plasma gun like it's going to shoot again, and then topples over completely. More of that energy flying out of the body and going into one of the nearby conduits on the wall. John Stone, you're up with that 4. You've got one of these guards left prone on the ground in front of Paul.
Cool. I just jump up in the air and stomp him.
The stomp. All right. What is your fighting skill over there, John Stone?
my fighting. Fairly good at fighting. 12 plus 2.
All right, a D12 plus 2 for John Stone, and the D6 wild die, the 6 aces. And aces again. Oh man, we're going to get a total of 17. Not only does that hit, but that hits with a raise. So what's your strength die for figuring out what kind of damage we're doing? What is John Stone's strength?
12 plus 2.
All right, and then a D8 because you have martial artist, martial warrior, and brawler, and then a D6 for the raise. So a D12, a D8, and a D6 plus 2. Stacking all of those together, we get a total of 15. And in a brutal leap through the air, you stomp down, crushing the torso of this being, and more of that energy flies out from the body and into the nearby conduit along the wall. And from your position, you are right there at the doorway, which is it's more open than anything else, and can see Rhonda and Princess Hedgehog on these medical slabs with all of these automated little arms with different gadgets on them, some of them with blades and drills and tubes and the like, all leaning menacingly in towards your companions. It looks like they're about to be cut into little pieces and processed.
Now, these actually look like robotic parts, right?
Yes. Very much so.
Cool. Is it the same initiative?
It is, well, I'm going to deal out another set of cards for these, except they're, so hang on one second, and cards, and flip. And it's going to look like you're going to start us off, Jonah Mox.
Oh, what did we get?
You got a 9 of diamonds for yourself, which is the highest card in that card flip.
I would like to use a Benny to get a new card.
All right, I'm pulling your 8 of spades then, Vector, and giving you the next card, which is going to be an ace of spades. So in fact, actually, you're going to go first.
Damn it. Okay. Never mind then.
Vector.
What are they strapped down with?
They don't.
I already know what I'm doing.
They don't seem to be strapped down, Vector.
Okay, I just want to make like a flying leap tackle.
Never mind.
Okay, I can only get one of them.
They seem to not be strapped down, but definitely have been drugged with something, as they're both very thoroughly unconscious.
I'm gonna do a flying leap, run, tackle, and grab Princess off of the table and like do a barrel roll with her.
I'm going to want an athletics roll from you on that one, Vector. But because it is a daring maneuver, you get your +2 bonus for doing daring things.
A D6.
All right, a D6 and a D6 +2 to the result. And we're going to get a 6, which is going to be a success. And you grab Princess Hedgehog, barrel rolling off the side of the table, crashing into some things and disappearing from everyone else's line of sight as you crash to the other side of that table. Which brings us to Jonah Mox, as Rhonda still is on one of those slabs.
Okay. My entire idea is completely moot now, so I'll just back slowly out of the room, let them take care of it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with the initiative order. If you don't act, Rhonda's going to get cut into before anyone else gets a chance to act.
Okay, well, she's wearing a really badass armor, right?
Not at the moment. It is in a neat little pile next to her.
All right, well, I'll go up and kick the table out of the way then. I guess back towards wherever Vector Range has gone to.
On the other side of the table. All right, it's you're not opposed by anything, so you can simply go up and move the table if that's what you wish to do. And you can. The arms don't seem to react to you. They do immediately proceed to start moving and cutting and hacking at where Rhonda and Princess Hedgehog just were moments ago. Stopping after a few moments and readjusting, and then attempting to do so again, and attempting to do so again. At this point, Vector is now stood up and is holding the unconscious form of Princess Hedgehog.
Paul, for you.
Thank you. And I put the Princess Hedgehog on my shoulder.
All right. There's a very unconscious Rhonda, along with her ranger armor on the floor as well.
So who's carrying that then?
Ringo?
One,
What,
two,
you can
three. No
carry-
super strength.
Whoa.
I guess that
You-
just leaves literally almost everyone else here.
Wait, you can carry a bunch of random parts, but you can't carry your teammates' gear for her?
Man, I've seen video of you lifting a car. I don't even want
Grab her gear, Jonah Mox.
Nope.
I'll grab the gear. Somebody needs to carry Rhonda.
I mean, Ringo can carry the gear just fine. I built Ringo very well. I mean, they're...
I'll carry Rhonda. I'm just not taking her stuff. I'm not
Fair enough.
willingly
Good job,
touch a
Ringo.
Space Ranger's armor. That's not me.
That's fair.
Fair enough. You load Ringo up with the gear.
He's so
Yeah.
cute and tiny.
MVP, the most important member of this team, the guts and heart of the Reliables, Ringo, everyone's favorite character. Merch coming soon. Yep.
He deserves a medal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or hero.
He is a medal.
Yep.
All right. And then who's got Rhonda?
I guess I do. This is my
All right.
thank you for saving you guys. You're totally welcome. Literally, in the video, he is running with a car door, and he uses it like like paper. Weighs nothing to him. But look at him there, standing there with his robot arms, looking all tough, but not carrying a damn thing.
John Stone, can't you kick somebody if your arms are full? Because Jonah Mox can't stab somebody if his arms are full.
Oh, he's got guns like in
There-
his chest and shit.
If you think for a moment that those guys that we fought are the only ones en route to our position, you're wrong. You guys are carrying stuff so I can fight everybody off. Let's get out of here.
He's got a point, I guess? I don't know. I got guns.
If you're saying he's got point, then awesome.
I think he does. And John Stone takes the lead, leading you back using the information that Jonah Mox gathered to know where the hangar of this vessel happens to be.
I'll be in the back. Left!
And as you're making your way through, very suddenly, Paul, that translator of yours just completely goes off. It's still functioning, but it's no longer receiving any signals. If you had to make a guess, you would assume that they have figured out that you are listening to them.
Yeah, my transponder's not doing squat at this point, so we're a little in the dark now.
In the dark in what way? Meaning, you can't hear their communications?
Yeah.
That just means that they're waiting to ambush us. Don't worry about it. We'll get there when we get there.
Well, so we saw the energy travel along these wires before, right?
No, you saw it enter them after you destroyed bodies that it was
Okay.
in.
So I'm just gonna.
More like conduits, like little Bluetooth towers, right?
Yeah.
So what if we
So
destroy
essentially
their
our
Bluetooth
enemies-
towers?
Then the ones that are closest to us couldn't probably make those energy guys come out, but they don't do anything to us anyway. They'd have to be inhabiting something. So we would have had to have taken out the conduits closest to the barracks rooms, which are still ahead of us. So we're not there yet.
Poop.
Seemingly not.
Well, we have to get to the hangar so we can get the Reliant out of here.
All right, making your way back along the passageway, you narrowly miss some close encounters with hunting and searching groups. And they are most certainly still communicating, but have changed the frequency they do it on, changed whatever it is that they use in order to make it so that Paul cannot monitor them anymore. They
Whoa.
seem to be onto you and your methods.
I'm going to take his translator
Mhm.
and see if I can interface with it and frequency hop along with him.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to go and tell him you can have it back after class.
Why don't you give me an electronics roll, John Stone, and we'll see what you can manage.
Oh, I can manage a lot of things.
What do you got for electronics, John Stone?
4 + 4.
All right, D4 plus 4 and a D6 wild die. I'm okay. Now they've all disappeared. All right, the 4 is going to be a success because we're adding 4 to it and making that into a raise. You're able to get bits and pieces, and you can tell that what they have decided to do is something you have done on operations before is continually modulate and change the frequency according to some sort of preset pattern. If you had time, you could probably analyze it and figure out what pattern they're going with and keep up with it. But as it is, you can only get bits and pieces, enough to know that they are very much still actively hunting you through these corridors.
Do I ping up enough to know where they are so that we can choose alternate routes?
It's enough that you're able to have some much more better chances as you're going through, less narrow escapes as you're making your way through these passages and through the different corridors, catching a word or two just in time, enough to stop before stepping out or around a corner of a hallway, letting groups of them wander by, and then eventually, through trial and error and a bit of effort, you are able to reach the hangar. And there sits the Reliance, and she's in way better condition than the last time you saw the exterior. Someone has polished the rust spots off, cleaned up the weld marks. I mean, someone has
taken it apart.
putting a lot of time and effort into, at the very least, fixing the exterior. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say what else was done in there. And as you approach the ship, the doors behind you slam down and shut, and a blast shield slides across them. And you believe that you are perhaps fallen into a trap. As yes, among the various parked ships, there are a half dozen of these armored troops that you haven't encountered before, supported by 4 drones armed with weapons, and a terrifying construct that you could call a mech. It is so large. It's humanoid in form, 12 feet in height, with a gun almost the length of a person going across its shoulder. It is incredibly terrifying in appearance.
Wow. Well, this is...
And they are between you and the Reliance.
All right, then.
Now, before I deal out this round of cards, I'm going to let you guys know this seems to be the perfect cinematic opportunity to use that rule of cool that has been in the store. So as those cards come out, I want you to know that the rule of cool is what's going to be happening. Cards are dealt out, and let's see what they flip to.
Someone get a joker.
This list doesn't look like there's going to be any jokers, but it does look like, in the tradition of Rule of Cool, that with that 3, you're going to have to tell us what you would do first, Vector Reigns. If you could ignore physics, if you could accomplish any crazy task, what would you attempt?
Before we start, let's go over Rule of Cool real quick, because we haven't done this in a while.
We haven't. You mind taking care of that?
Yeah, Rule of Cool is very, very simple. Each of us gives our perfect world scenario of how this round goes, an action that we could, at our best, supposedly feasibly do on our very best day. Chat gets to vote on that. Whoever wins gets an automatic success with the raise. The other 3 of us still have to attempt that action at a penalty. So the way to win these is to come up with fun ideas that they are going to want to see, because whether we succeed or fail is almost completely hinging upon whether we win this challenge.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. And in the general way we do this is the person with the worst initiative has to come up with their plan first, and then we make our way through everyone, hearing what everyone's plans are before chat makes the vote. And in this particular case, you got the worst initiative card, so you're going to have to come up with the plan first.
Okay, so question about this mech thing. You said it's,
yes.
Is it just like a large robot, or is it actually like could be a human cockpit type of thing?
It's big enough there very easily could be, but you're not quite sure. That doesn't look like there's one,
Well,
but it's definitely big enough that there could be one.
so,
But it has 4 limbs and a chest and a head, so I mean, it's more humanoid designed than anything else.
So then, rule of cool, I would run forward, dodging and weaving through all these little bots, jump up to the leg of this giant mech, and then start parkouring up it to where theoretically there might be a spot for someone to sit. Punch through whatever protective glass there is, rip out whatever kind of robot or whatever's in there, sit in. Now that I'm in the sweet mech, I would just start leg sweeping and doing capoeira and like turning it into a dance fight as I'm just curb stomping all of these robots and having a sweet rave to myself.
That is a brave and quite insane plan. And well, we're going to see if chat likes it when we get to the vote. Next up would be Paul to tell us what he would do, or excuse me, what they would do. Sorry about that, in their perfect world.
Okay, so Paul's plan is going to involve Ringo, naturally.
Naturally.
So
Always go with the sympathetic sidekick character.
gotta
You're
do
learning
it.
to work the
Yep.
system. That's good.
Mm-hmm. So I would find one of those conduits and reverse engineer sort of a vacuum state for it, but also attach Ringo to it in the hopes of drawing in all the ambient energy from the various automatons into Ringo and just focusing it all there and just trapping them like a genie in a bottle.
A Ringo trap. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, Ringo.
How very Ghostbusters of you.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, that is a bold plan. We will, again, when we get to voting, see how chat feels about it. Next up, Jonah Mox is going to tell us what they would do for their perfect plan.
So, like, in my perfect plan, I would already be in stealth, but I am carrying this 200-pound Space Ranger with me.
Yes.
Which, I mean, sure, gives me a human shield, but one I don't necessarily want. So my round is going to have to focus, really, on protecting that Space Ranger, but still letting her do Space Ranger things even if she's unconscious. So I am going to form my liquid form around Rhonda's body, like a suit of armor.
Oh, man.
And then I'm going to harden it into a diamond-like substance, and I'm going to go punch a hole in the hull of the ship and have everybody hold on while all the bad guys get sucked out. Maybe I'll do it with Ranger Rhonda's hammer. You know, pick up that rocket hammer and let it carry the both of us to victory. I'm hoping that during this, she also wakes up so she can see us both flying across the room with her Jonah Mock suit of armor.
Jonah Mock
It's going to be
suit of armor.
sweet, even if it fails.
Yeah.
All right. That is brave, and definitely fun. Again,
Well, I
we're
have
glad
the
to see
bravest
what
member
chat-
of the party that I need to protect, so it's probably good.
And last, we'll hear from John Stone. John Stone, your perfect world.
What is beneath us?
The hangar floor,
Beneath that.
beyond the ship. Whatever's
All right.
outside of the ship.
All right. Very well. So I run at the big guy, the mech-looking dude,
Mhm.
and having the legs that I have, I take a few steps, jump up in the air, do a flip half twist, land on the head or whatever that is, whether it's a cockpit or a head. I land in it, on it, and then taking my hands, I drive them directly into the body of the thing through the top, and use my my interface through my hands to begin to take over this thing. And then I assume control of it and then use its guns to just start shooting at all the other bad guys, right? Until they all drop. Then I point its guns straight down and begin spinning while shooting at the floor, very much, Looney Tunes style, creating a hole in the floor that it drops through, and then I of course detach and jump off just as it falls through into beyond the ship or wherever that is.
Okay. That is, again, very, very brave and bold plan. I guess we're going to have to leave it up to chat to decide which one of those is going to work and who's still going to have to try, but at a penalty.
I love that.
All right,
Yeah.
so chat, please put in your votes so we can make this happen, because we all want to see what happens when we fail these rolls horribly here.
So curious.
Keep in mind that I'm making this mech do pirouettes while shooting at the ground Yosemite Sam style and creating a hole through the floor.
It's all wild. It's all brilliant. It's all
Yeah,
wonderful.
bold moves. It's just a good way of playing the game in general. I like it.
Plus, I don't think you can really legitimately have an action movie of any kind in this day and age without doing the whole shooting the floor around you and then going down thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're seeing a lot of votes go through, and they are all over the place.
They
So I
are.
could not possibly predict how this one is going to turn out.
Maybe they're
Stop
being
the count.
Maybe they're being sneaky and trying to
No.
go for the four-way tie.
Oh.
They might very well be trying to go for the four-way tie. It's hard to tell.
Because, of course, in the event of a tie being win, that means both, whoever tied for first place, both of their actions succeed with the race. So sometimes chat would like to get sneaky. And,
Sneaky chat.
Yeah.
So sneaky.
sneaky chat, sneaky chat.
What are they feeding you?
Oh, man. There were some good ones on this one. Chat is right. It is a hard vote.
Oh, no, it's not. It's my birthday this week, guys. Come on,
I
vote for
mean,
me. I need the
It's-
sympathy.
It is
I need
his
the
birthday.
sympathy. I'm old.
Yeah.
So old.
I'm so old.
All right, guys, we're getting near to the end of the vote. It's going to be closing soon, and we will have our results and go through all of the failures first, of course, before we get to the success.
Oh,
I
are
just
they
wanna
automatically a failure?
Oh, no,
No.
they're not. They just probably will.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
You got to have the tension. Yeah.
Like, if you're using the
Possibility.
right skill.
Okay, here we go. Oh, man. It was a close one by one vote. Vector and the parkour pilot peekaboo dance wins. But man, those were all close. We had them right down to the wire there on all of them. So of course, everyone but Vector is still going to have to attempt to pull off their plans, including the penalty and all of the multi-action penalties added in. And we will do those, of course, in initiative order, skipping over Vector because his will be an automatic success with the raise when we get to that. So we'll get to his last. And that means we're going to start with Paul attempting their incredible wild scheme. So, Paul, you were talking about getting one of these condiments out and reverse engineering it, running it through Ringo, and then pulling in the energy forms in it. So that's going to require a series of rolls from you. You're going to be taking the 3-action multi-action penalty, plus the 2-point penalty for failing to win the poll. So that means your die rolls are going to be at a whopping -6 penalty.
Okay.
But you're still going to have to try them all. And the first one I'm going to need from you is going to be a repair roll at a -6.
Okay. 10 plus 2 is the base. So
All right, so down to 10 plus or -4, sorry, which is going to be a 2 and a 0. So that first roll not going to be a success, but we're still continuing on. The next one I need is the science roll that follows that up.
10 plus 2.
Oh, so remarkably similar roll also. at that penalty. Those are not going to be a success. And then the electronics roll will be the last of the three.
The electronics roll, flat 10.
All right, so 10 minus 6 on this one. The 6 does ace, so that's something. And aced again. Wow. So it looks like of all of those, your electronics roll succeeds. And I'm going to tell you, this gives you one advantage, and that you managed to not destroy Ringo in the process. That's what that successful electronics roll gets you. Ringo is going to survive this event. However, you're not able to get that reverse engineer system going and pull the energy forms out of their bodies and back into the conduit.
That's fine. That's fine.
Just not going to be the case. Now, we are going to try with Jonah Mox next with that 4-point multi-action penalty.
You realize if mine fails at the wrong time, everybody else is dead anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Speak for yourself, air breather.
Want to make sure. I need a shape-changing roll and what? And a fighting
Yep.
roll?
We're going to start with the shape-changing roll. That's going to be at -6.
I'm not doing that many actions. Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait. I
Reach
suppose
out.
you're right.
Stop.
Why, Mark? Why?
I said don't
You
roll.
had to start.
I said don't roll.
Just had to start with the shape-changing roll. It just had to be a shape-changing roll.
I said don't
Didn't
roll.
it? All right, let's start this over. I'm sorry we lost the chance to see Jonah Mock's critical fail in the episode, guys. I know how much you all looked forward to that.
I mean,
It's his
keep it
birthday.
fine.
You
It's already
should have
rolled.
seen it.
I just said don't do it, but you did it anyway, and it's done.
All right, so critical failing on that roll. You more you less encase Rhonda in liquid form and more just soup across Rhonda, splashing all over the place
She dies because of this. That's fine.
and making a mess.
Gotta do the other rolls.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to manipulate the hammer, so you're just going to have to do a physical fighting roll to try and break through the wall of the ship. So I'll take that fighting roll next. What's your fighting?
12.
All right, D12 and the D6. We're going to get a 0 and a -1. So it's not going to be able to punch through or cut through or break through the walls of the ship in any fashion. More just soup form splattering against them after the fact.
It's just great.
Soup and soup.
Oh, man.
John, we're going to have to go to you next. And first, we are going to need the
I
of the
see
3
John
actions.
Mott's #jam medit up again. Space Ranger soup is on the menu tonight.
Apparently, it is. We're going to start with athletics for you, John Stone. And this is going to be the full 3-action, multi-action penalty because really, you're going for like 5 or 6 actions in here, but I can only do so much in penalties. So, what's your athletics normally?
What? 5, 6, 8? All right, fine.
It
12
was
plus
5.
All right. What was that again on athletics?
12 plus 3.
12 plus 3 with a 6-point penalty goes down to 12 minus 3. So a D12 and a D6 with a -3 penalty. For the beginning of it, a -1 and a 0. Your jump is just a little shy and you don't really land so much as kind of cross-body cling onto the torso of this mech in the room. The next part, of course, I'm going to need the fighting check to plunge your hands inside of the body of it. So what's your fighting?
Fine. That will be 12 plus 2.
All right. So again, at -6. So going down to D12 -4 and the 6 aces. So this part.
#fourth wall. I mean, let's hear from Mr. Soup himself as our current only crit fail of the night.
Oh, man, thank you, chat. We will most definitely do that in just a few moments. With the 17, that part succeeds, and hanging on in cross body, you're able to force your armored hands into the body of this mech. The next part I'm going to need from you, again, we're doing for 5 actions here, so it's quite this big group, is the electronics roll is going to come next as you seize control of this giant mech. And that's also at that 6-point penalty.
Well, wouldn't I be hacking into it?
I suppose I could let you use hacking.
So that's a 12 plus 2.
All right, with a -6, it's going to be a 12 -4. 3 and a -3, those are not good enough to be successes. So you don't gain control of it, so we can skip the shooting roll as you don't gain the chance. I suppose you could use that, Benny, and roll that one more time. You didn't get a critical failure, so you can try that D12 again. At a -3, we're still going to get, or excuse me, a -4. Sorry, it was going to be a 3 and a -3. We're going to fall just a little short on that one. It's a hard thing to try and do that many things at once, even for a badass like John Stone. But you are hanging on to this mech, which will become very important here as we go to Vector Reigns, the winner of our poll. And this dancing sort of maneuver here. Now, Vector, you don't have to make any die rolls because these are all automatically successes with a raise. I just want a little input from you as things happen. Now, as you leap onto this mech and climb up it and rip open part of it, it's just wiring inside. There is no cockpit, so you're just sort of manipulating wires to make the legs move as you're doing this dancing around the room, the capoeira, kicking and launching these smaller robots and drones everywhere, some of them bouncing off of the ships, some of them simply exploding outright. John Stone is hanging on to the mech right above your head as you are doing this dancing maneuver. You go into a little detail as to exactly what happens here.
Well, since John Stone is hanging on, I would try to get one of the arms to like wrap around him so that he was not lost in this confusion. And then I would turn it kind of like into a mosh pit as well. So I'd start capoeiring, but then I'm like, nah, that's going to hurt John. So instead, I'm just going to like slam dance and start just like metal rush kicking everything and just stop. Just on.
Wait, what was that again? Ah.
It's like, imagine the most Swedish heavy metal headbangers. That's what I'm having it do. So it's just kicking out. It's trying to kick dudes into other dudes, but it's not working. So they're just getting crushed. And yeah, like it looks like a really good punk rock heavy metal concert.
And in the aftermath, these things are destroyed, broken, launched across the room, bounced in different places. Some of these smaller ships on racks are destroyed from the kicked bodies colliding into them and the racks collapsing on top of each other.
Can I make this giant mech walk into the Reliance?
Well, before we get to that, I would really we've got someone in chat picked a reliable source and really wanted to hear from Jonah Mox about the crit fail of the night. So if we can get Jonah Mox as a reliable source, let's see what he thinks about this whole situation.
The more you know.
Oh, I think you might be muted.
I think that went well. All things considered. I mean, you know, sometimes life hands you lemons. Is that what they're called? The little yellow ones, right? That's what they're. I don't know what they are, but they sound delicious. They make things. That's good. For me, it comes down to like when I was a little boy. My mom always used to say to me, I have no idea what that means.
This has been a reliable source with Jonah Mox.
And now we know precisely how Jonah Mox feels about the situation, or do we? All right. Well, the mech is somewhat in your control. You're not sure you can get it on board the Reliance, as it is a little bit big, but maybe with some effort and help and time that might be possible. You have, however, done tremendous amount of damage to the legs and the functioning parts of it by ripping and tearing on wires and making it slam dance throughout the entirety of this hangar. But you do have your ship right here, conveniently parked, seemingly gone over by repair teams or repair drones, as it were. That's definitely a plus.
It's got a silver lining now.
And you've got yourself a Ranger Rhonda and a Princess Hedgehog, still very heavily sedated by drugs. And with that blast shield closed, you might even have a few minutes before they can send any more reinforcements your way.
I'm not picking up any garbage. I'm not picking up any people. I'm going on the ship.
Fair.
All right. The soupish form of Jonamox oozes on board the ship.
I mean, I'll grunt out a quick, you're all welcome.
Thank you, Jonamox.
Well, thank you, Jonah.
You had your chance. You all had your chance.
And boarding the ship with your unconscious compatriots, it seems like you have a dimension to go to and a plot to stop. Can this galvanic collective be taken down? Well, I guess we're going to have to find out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our episode. I want to thank everyone for joining us and tuning in. I hope that you guys all enjoyed the show. I'm really sorry for about all the technical difficulties. But we'll get over those. And can our heroes prevent the impending doom of Dimension 01776? Can this galvanic collective even be stopped? And how will the team's first mission utilizing avatars go? Find out next week on The Reliables as we begin our 3-part season finale, starring Bryce Bebop, Christian Doyle, Elise Moore, and Helen Roundhill. Don't forget to check out TFN for hundreds of thousands of hours of entertainment. Plus, right here on the Zoe channel, we've got Void Jumpers on Wednesday. We have Zoe Game Nights on Thursdays, and so much more. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Happy birthday to Christian. And
Yay!
Happy birthday, Christian.
And everyone, have a good night, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
James is like, and we're going to show you the cards, and here's the cards. And Bryce is like, what are they? Because I can't see
Yeah,
them.
like, all right, sounds good.
So,
Wirecast was being a pain in the ass.
yeah, I don't know what's going on because I'm looking at all the computer numbers, and I'm never running the computer over like 60%. I have gotten it to 60% most of the time, but it's causing issues when it's telling me it's only running at 40% all the time. And I don't know what the hell is going on, so I'm gonna have to do some research and figure out. I have a feeling some of the weird ass shit going on with Vimeo caused a corrupted file in the Wirecast thing, so I probably need to do the like 8 hours of building the show all over again.
Sweet.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with reinstalling Wirecast and see if that solves it. It's driving me nuts because like last week went so damn smooth. And then Wednesday, our modem went out in the middle of Void Jumpers after the first half went perfectly smooth. So then we got a new modem on Thursday after like 4 hours of sitting with the Comcast tech guy. And it's like everything should be fine, and just shit all's working, so.
Yeah, I was Pixels most of the night.
Yeah, I was not getting good signal from you at all, that's for sure.
I don't know. There's been no change on this end. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, we had you in Pixels a little bit last week, but not a lot, so.
Yeah, it was like 15th of the time. This time it was almost 50-50.
Yeah.
Weird.
Are you currently wired in, or are you still on wireless?
Oh, I'm wired.
Okay.
I think my internet is just more rural than everyone else's. It's just hard to get around.
Yeah. It's just not giving you a high enough upload speed.
Yeah.
Alright.
So it goes.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can build a URL to actually reduce the resolution slightly to see if I can get it to be consistent instead of high quality and nothing at all.
Yeah. I'm going smooth and cool, but it might not be enough. But I mean, it was okay
Yeah.
last week, so who knows?
Yep. We'll find out.
Xander,
Ugh.
Yeah.
I want to put Ringo in the giant mech, and then also get Princess to put her slime mold into it, so that way it could be a giant robot Ringo that also sprays out hallucinogenic spores.
Oh my goodness.
That's my new goal.
That's very powerful.
Every random thing you pick up during an episode, you're just gonna combine them all into one thing.
Yeah, we're gonna Voltron the shit out of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's my hope.
So good.
Wow. That seems like we're violating every metaversal law there is doing that.
Yeah, honestly, I was planning on completely dropping Ringo as a character after this and just make a big deal out of how this is the new big character that's going to be in every... And, like, I never mention him again.
I have zero problem with that. I think it's great.
That's also great. I love that.
Ringo can just join the cargo hold carrying all kinds of other
Yep.
things. Never get mentioned again, but might show up, in season 5.
Yeah, Ringo died on the way to their home planet.
Oh, yeah. That's the way to do it. Is like you never mention him again, and then like the series finale in 3 years from now or whatever, Ringo is the one that saves the day.
Yeah.
That becomes amazing. Just out of nowhere, it's like, what is Ringo? Oh, let me explain.
Way back in episode 7. The most important episode of the show. You just didn't know it at the time.
Sounds about right.
Alright, I got bell mark. Do you need anything? Any help? Okay.
Nope.
Then
All right.
Go get some
I will see you guys later online.
I'll see you all on the audience side next